Eclectors, and welcome back to the Eclectic Collection. Today is episode 62, Popular Halloween Costumes. So we've been doing this whole series of spooky, and I'm really trying to get into the spirit of the extended, if you will, October, because like I said in previous episodes, it's almost become like its own little holiday season. And poor Thanksgiving, man, he doesn't stand a chance. But it's been interesting that people have all this like Halloween stuff and interesting gusto for it because it's become like the holiday that you can prep for, and then there's a little break in between, and then you can do Christmas. So I've seen people really decorating and getting into it, and likewise for the day of, costumes and parties and things have become really, really popular, more so than in previous years. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, it's been quiet and we've been kind of to ourselves for a while. So everybody wants to get out and share and see people again. That's my take on it, but that'll probably be the excuse for the next several years. Costume wise, there's a lot that you can find on the internet that'll tell you, oh, this is the top this or top that. And this is just my take on a lot of this. So apparently Wonder Woman, even though I love Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman is the number one this year, which I find interesting, at least on a couple of sites that I found. And I wouldn't argue that. I love her. And a close second are pirates and zombies, which you got to figure it's just in social media, in life, and in art. Walking Dead is ending after like 12 seasons. So that, of course, would precipitate the zombies. There's always something going on with DC and Marvel usually. So I get the Wonder Woman and Pirates is, I heard there's talk, especially after the whole Johnny Depp of it all, of him doing another Pirates movie. Plus, of course, he's got the previous 5. So that's always a happening thing. And it's, of course, it's kind of an easy costume. I don't know that too many people can rock Wonder Woman successfully, at least not as Gal Gadot can. But I'm pretty sure anybody could look like a decent pirate or mark yourself up to look like a zombie. So there's that. Of course, classic and traditional things that aren't too tough to pull off are skeletons and, of course, ghosts, and mermaids are very popular also this year for some reason. But I would say that the generic stuff that gets attacked a lot are all your thematic things. So you've got Star Wars, universe. You've got people into Marvel. You've got people in DC, people into Lord of the Rings, people into different TV series. Game of Thrones was big for a while. That's going to make a comeback now with the Dragon series. Harry Potter, Simpsons. Anytime you see another big longevity involved in a show, a lot of times people want to do that. Even Snoopy on the kids level. Steampunk has kind of made almost like a cyber steampunk I'll say cameo lately, and it's really come about from just kind of fusing the sci-fi and the digital world into a genre that sort of lends itself to a futuristic look, almost like Blade Runner kind of esque situations. But good old normal costumes that might not be too tough to pull off. Of course, I'm always partial to the Matrix, although I would argue that you end up looking like a priest with sunglasses on. But you could always do something simple. A friend of mine went out and got a beautiful costume of all particular Jedi wear, and he looked great. I thought it was fantastic. But you have an expense with that, and it's not really something you're going to whip up at home. You can, and creative people, especially people who can sew and have that talent, of course you can come up with your own stuff. But especially if you're dealing with a whole family or kids or a bunch of you are going to go, sometimes it's neat to pair up or just use household things. Friends of mine used to go as the 6-pack and everybody was a beer can a long time ago. You could do basic just occupations. You could have doctor, nurse if it's a husband-wife situation, or a couple. You could do pilots, construction workers, any kind of pair situation, Ernie and Bert, just kind of normal jobs. Military is always easy, or, football player, cheerleader, that kind of thing. Just household items or household stuff, salt and pepper. I've seen people go out as different spices, or they're like a spice rack. I always joke about the movie Never Been Kissed, where they decided to be double helix DNA. It was kind of silly for the costumes, but famous pairs or just different things that you would see in everyday use, but could be a simple costume. Everybody could be a bunch of fruits from Fruit of the Loom, or everybody could be certain veggies, or, play on whatever it is that you're into. A friend of mine's a vegan, so everybody was a vegetable. It just depends on what your talents are, your genre is, or anything that you might be interested in. Movies, different characters from different movies, different characters from different shows, or even just different other people that you know in daily life, different teachers, different students, different, backgrounds. Or I've seen people be a bookshelf and they're all different book, like labeled a certain way. It comes down to the presentation, the creativity, and how well you sell it. If you're into it, you're going to be believable. If you're not into it, well, then don't even bother is the way I would say. You'd be that person with a orange or black t-shirt on that says, "This is my costume," and just call it a day. But it all comes down to, like anything, the enthusiasm that you put into the situation. It's just, I've seen this big uptake in Halloween lately, and I think that it's fantastic to watch because it's creative and it's fun, and theoretically, as long as you're not hurting anybody, life's good. You can go the fun route, the kid route, the gory route, whatever it is, and know that it's all make-believe, and it's the one time of the year you can pretend to be a psycho killer, dress up like Jason or Freddy, and enjoy it. Now, I'm not recommending The Purge or anything like that, but I do think that there's a lot of things lately, especially like Stranger Things and just different stuff that's out. Cobra Kai, you see a lot coming back with karate. Certainly the Star Wars canon never goes away. So all these things, they just lend themselves to a lot of different opportunities and characters. And again, it could be stuff or people, whatever you prefer. So enjoy this Halloween season. Stay safe. And of course, always make sure that you are putting your best into it. And even if you're not a seamstress or somebody that's really good at tailoring, that's okay. You can either seek help, buy a costume, as I would cheese out, and or if not, look for household things that you can make up something simple but fun or elegant or interesting, and it's still a conversation piece. But the main part is to have fun. If you enjoyed what you heard today, then check us out at the eclecticcollectionpodcast.com or listen to us on your preferred platform. I'm Terry Tenaglia. Thanks for listening.